Greetings and welcome back to the Pancreas on episode 21. We are
Sarah,
Precious,
and Justin. Today's episode will be all about the topic on the French and Indian War. Here's a special thanks to our sponsors, pbs.org, and a special shout out goes to Zach from Wildcrats. Thank you for sponsoring our video.
what started the French and Indian War? This war lasted 7 years, and the French and British were both trying to conquer more territory, but they ended up crossing paths. The most important issue is that the upper Ohio River was what they were fighting over.
now, what were the first few years of battle like?
Well, that's a great question, Precious. The first couple of years, British and America were put on a loss. After 4 years, William Pitt was put into command over the British Army, and they started to gain momentum and gain victories, eventually leading to the victories and withdrawal from the France.
What did Britain gain from the war? What did Britain lose from the war? Initially, Britain gained and lost a lot of land from the war. After signing the Treaty of Paris, most of France's land went to Britain, but they ultimately lost that land a couple years later. As an attempt to pay off debt from the war, they taxed Americans, which caused a rebellion, and they started a revolution.
Well, how much debt was Britain in?
Britain's debt was over 122 million pounds, with an extra 4.4 million being added every year they didn't pay it as interest.
Wow, that's a lot.
Is it my, do I talk? Okay. Is it my turn?
Oh my
I
god.
put shot by accident and I saw Christopher Wilde.
What was the treaty that ended the war, also called the Treaty of Paris?
The Treaty of Paris of 1763 ended the French and Indian War / 7 Years' War between Great Britain and France, as well as their respective allies. In the terms of the treaty, France gave up all its territory in mainland North America, effectively ending any foreign military threat to the British colonies there.
All of it? Dang.
Dang! Because they lost practically all of the land they gained from France following the Treaty of Paris in 1763, Great Britain lost more than they gained from the French and Indian War.
In addition, both the Revolutionary War and
Are you British?
both the Revolutionary War and the French and Indian War left Britain with a war debt.
The French and Indian War, when Britain taxed... Am I a robot again? After the French and Indian War, when Britain taxed the colonies, it had to cope with their rebellious subjects.
They sparked, such as Boston Tea Party's loss of tea, and finally, following the Treaty of Paris in 1783, Britain lost North America and was left with just Canada to claim.
In the end, the British suffered a greater loss. Yo, Precious, he was lost. What?
The only thing the French and Indian War gave them was pride.
The British invested so much money in the battle that the colonists were unwilling to repay them.
The
Gosh.
British then enforced fees on ordinary products on the colonists. This worsened the tensions between the two, and the British were inevitably responsible for 2 wars, the French and Indian War and the American Revolution.
Thank you for listening.
Like, follow, and subscribe for more.
Thank you for listening, and be sure to tune in next time
Please
on
share
The Pancreas.
the next time in the Pancreas. The thank you.